Hi guys, wanted to talk to you today about something pretty important. We are covering the topic of progesterone, why you want it, why you need it, why you stop producing it, when you stop producing it, what happens when you stop producing it, and what you can do about it to fix it. And it's an easy fix, and this is research that is coming from Dr. Lee that was done throughout the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s, around 45 years of research that was collected from thousands of women that he did. And this has kind of been a forgotten topic, but we need to highlight it. So if you're a man or a woman, let's talk about its importance. So osteoporosis is a really big problem around for people that are older than the age of 55. By the time menopause hits or 55, most people have lost around 20 to 25% of their bone density. So that loss happens because of the stopping of your body producing progesterone around the age of 35. These people, especially women, they're still producing estrogen, they're still having a cycle, and even if they're post-menopause and not having a cycle, these massive amounts of bone density loss are taking place because of the lack of progesterone. So let's dive into that a little bit more. You have estrogen in your body and progesterone. The job of estrogen is to slow down the rate at which your osteoclasts clean out the bone to make what's called a lacuna, a little space in your bone that is filled by osteoblasts. So osteoclasts are kind of the little Pac-Man that come into your bone, and our bone is continually regenerating, which is why we can heal after we break a bone. So osteoclasts come along and they eat away little spaces called lacuna inside of your bone. And the estrogen, the job of estrogen is to slow down the rate at which osteoclasts do that. The job of progesterone is to make osteoblasts go into that lacuna space that the osteoclasts just made, and their job is to fill in the bone. But the problem that is taking place after the age of 35 is that your body isn't producing any more progesterone. So the osteoblasts are not filling in the lacuna spaces, and as a result, osteoporosis and a host of other issues is taking place, and that bone density is lost. So bones regenerate, and we need progesterone in order for them to regenerate. So moving along, Dr. Lee found, after thousands of people were watched, that if no treatment was done in the women that he followed, then they lost around 1.5% of bone density every year. If treatment was given to the women with estrogen, their bone density would level off for a period of time, about 1 to 2 years, and then it would plummet again, just as if they hadn't received any treatment at all. Because the estrogen is slowing down the osteoclasts, but nothing is making the osteoblasts fill in that hole and give bone density. So if they were treated with a all-natural progesterone cream, nothing else changed. On average, they gained 15% bone density within a 3-year period. So the women that already had a whole foods diet and ate healthy, they gained around 22 to 25% just with adding a progesterone cream. So that's pretty fantastic. So with the right diet, there's other factors that are involved in bone density and bone density loss. And those factors are having the right diet, the proper pH levels within your system, that you haven't been a person that uses a lot of antibiotics in your life, that you've never taken Lasix, that you don't use diuretics on a regular basis, and that you don't have a lot of fluoride consumption in your life. So if you have had any of those factors, it's a pretty good chance that you are having really low amounts of progesterone. But if you just started treating with an all-natural progesterone cream, you would be able to see those benefits that Dr. Lee saw of 15% bone density increase in just those 3 years with no other changes. So why and where do we get progesterone from, since we're not making it anymore? So progesterone is a bioidentical source that comes from the plants. All plants, and we love plants. All hormones come from the synthesizing of fats from plants. So why do we care about that? So the minerals that we need, that we eat, like we talked about, if you don't have a good whole foods diet, you can supplement with certain minerals. Where do we get our minerals from? We get them from the soil. Plants grow in the earth, in the soil. We eat the plants. Your stomach takes them to ingest them. Your bloodstream takes out the minerals to pass them through your body, and then your bloodstream dumps those minerals into your bone. So that's that process. So why do we need an all-natural progesterone cream if we can't make it? So progesterone is best absorbed into your body if there is a cream that is being used. Just like when your ovaries produce hormones, your ovaries aren't dumping your hormones right into your mouth. And there's a reason for that. The progesterone, when you use a cream, it's a slow release throughout your body, just as it would be if it was being naturally produced within your body. Whether or not you have ovaries or not anymore, you want that natural progesterone. When doctors have prescribed a oral form of progesterone or progesterone, it is a synthetic form. It's not bioidentical, and your body has no idea what to do with it. So what happens is it goes into your mouth, goes into your stomach, and then your liver ends up taking it and breaking it down into a few different metabolites that are actually completely toxic for your system. Completely toxic. Women that have taken synthetic progesterone, that have been prescribed synthetic progesterone, they have had depression, anxiety, heart attacks, cancer, related illnesses from these synthetic things, because they turn into a toxicity once they're absorbed into your body and broken down into metabolites. So again, it can cause, if you've taken natural progesterone, it can cause depression, anxiety, bone loss, cancer, heart attacks, allergies, even women just reporting that they have started taking a natural progesterone cream twice a day, that they don't have allergies anymore. They have no need for an antihistamine. So what can progesterone do for you if taken topically? What is progesterone? Progesterone broken down is progestation. So if you are trying to get pregnant, it may be that you're older than the age of 32 and your body doesn't produce as much progesterone anymore. So an all-natural progesterone cream will help you. Put it on twice a day. So progestation, that's where it got its name from. Mother Nature was brilliant. It helps the thyroid work. It helps boost your immune system. It creates an environment where the egg can find a home within the uterus. It helps burn fat for fuel. It is a precursor to all other hormones. Progesterone is a precursor to all other hormones. We cannot produce testosterone without the progesterone being synthesized into cholesterol being made into testosterone. It helps your heat regulation. It helps your temperature inside. It helps anyone with epilepsy to regulate and control that illness. Your brain picks up the progesterone and uses it in your brain cells to increase cognitivity and all of that stuff. It is an amazing thing. So now kicking over to the males. Yes, it is important for men to take progesterone. Boys out there, if you are older than the age of 60, get an all-natural progesterone cream. There is a male menopause that takes place around the age of 67. Men need progesterone out of cholesterol to then make testosterone and sperm. Progesterone, a lot of this is very interesting about Dr. Lee's research. Progesterone falls and the estradiol rises to create prostate health issues like cancer or dysfunction or other prostate problems. Prostate cancer is not caused by too much testosterone. If that were the case, then men in the age of 2025 would be getting prostate cancer, but they're not getting it. What's happening is that there's an oxidation process taking place because there's no progesterone. And so it is creating problems with the prostate. So men also should be on a natural progesterone cream after the age of around 65, 67. So 3 major functions to talk about progesterone. 1, it is 100% for procreation. You cannot procreate without progesterone. 2, it is the precursor for all other hormones. You cannot have any other hormone unless you have progesterone. And then 3, there are hundreds of beneficial responses in the body. Boosts immunity. It's thermogenic. It raises your temperature. It helps you get pregnant. If you don't have sometimes people think that they have hypothyroidism, and it's not. It's just a lack of progesterone because their temperature is down in the morning. Take progesterone and your temperature will come back up, and then you'll lose those feelings of grogginess, depression, and all of those other things that come along with the thyroid issues. So why are we not producing progesterone after the age of 35? So originally they thought, well, maybe it's stress, it's poor diet. Now we know after years and years of Dr. Lee's research, it is because at some point when the mother or father were making a baby, they were exposed to petrochemicals, to insecticides or pesticides. And what happened is it didn't affect their generation. Nothing happened to them as an adult. It skipped a generation. And what happened is it affected their babies. And their babies, how it affected their babies is it removed the follicles needed that produce progesterone to carry enough progesterone production through the follicles being made for the rest of their lives. So instead, somebody is being born, the baby looks fine, but because their mother or father was exposed to these pesticides, insecticides, or petrochemicals, they don't have the follicles needed to produce the progesterone needed to carry them through their life. So these follicles were, formed around day 7 to 14, and that's when these problems are occurring developmentally in these babies. If you want to look at that, there is a book called Our Stolen Future, and it goes in great detail about all of the research that have found. It's years and years of research compiled together that is really fascinating, talking about the generational loss of these follicles and why we're suffering and not producing enough progesterone. So obviously the best way to live is to have a healthy whole foods diet, but if you don't have that, maybe you're rushed or financially it's harder, it's expensive to buy whole foods, then you want to supplement with a few things: magnesium, manganese, boron, silica, copper, and zinc, D, C, and A, B6, and really try and stay away from those antibiotics. You make progesterone by eating cholesterol in a starches and fats form. And again, you make other hormones because of the progesterone in your body. So progesterone is the mother of all hormones, and that is why it is so important. It is called a natural progesterone because it's bioidentical to humans. So yams, the Mexican yam, is actually the highest source of progesterone that we know of, that we have, and that is what we are making a natural progesterone cream out of. And that is the best one. So I use a natural progesterone cream. It's from the brand Kokoro. I'll put the information on the links. The reason why I don't use Dr. Lee's is because it has soy in it, and there's no information that I could find on the internet about whether or not it was GMO soy or whatnot, so I just stayed clear of it. The Kokoro Balance Cream that I have, I put it on twice a day. It's not a super expensive cream. You can even get it off Amazon. Put it on twice a day. I put it on under my neck because it's a really absorbent area into your body. So those are just some of the highlights, reasons that you are, that really, if you're older than the age of 35, for sure, you should be on a balance cream, progesterone balance cream. If you are trying to get pregnant, do not take prescribed progesterone. It is a synthetic hormone replacement that does not resemble a hormone at all, and it will wreak havoc in your body. There's all sorts of issues that take place, ranging from depression, anxiety, to as extreme as cancer. Another thing that they found as part of Dr. Lee's research, this is quite interesting. The number one killer for men is heart disease, but the number one killer for women is heart attacks, heart disease, same thing. In men, though, after the autopsy was performed, they found that, these arteries were blocked off with 90% blockage, 100% blockage, all of these things that are causing blockages, which is why you've got angioplasts and triple bypass surgeries and whatnot. But on the other side, in women, they were doing these biopsies from these women having heart attacks, and only 50% of their artery was clogged, which shouldn't have caused death, or 30% or 40%. But what was happening is that their lack of progesterone was creating a spasm in their heart, which inflicted a heart attack. So all of these things, these low levels of progesterone is just wreaking havoc in your system, and a prescribed medical solution is not going to help. It is going to hurt. The other really interesting, fascinating part of Dr. Lee's research was that out of all of the women that had breast cancer that had metastasized to their nodes, so 100% of the women had breast cancer that was metastatic to their lymph nodes. They checked their progesterone rate at the time of their surgery. They didn't factor in any other issues like ethnicity or weight, financial, diet, nutrition, nothing. All they looked at was their progesterone level at the time they were going to have their breast cancer surgery. What they found with women that had steady, normal levels of progesterone in their body survived. 75% of them made it to the 18-year mark of the study. On the other side, just at the time of surgery, if the women had low progesterone at the time of surgery, there was only 30% of those women that made it to 18-year mark. And again, a lot of those women were 35, 40, and they didn't look at anything else, just the level of progesterone when they had surgery. So it is reducing the cancer rates. In another study, Dr. Lee found amongst ovarian cancer and uterine cancer and endometrial cancer patients, the ovarian cancer patients that started a all-natural progesterone cream. It started to remove the cancer from their body because the ovaries were not hyperactive with estrogen, and the tissue in the organ was not oxidizing. And that ovarian cancer really touches home for me. I lost my mom to ovarian cancer. And actually, I just found out today that I lost a very close friend as well. I might talk about that in another video, but ovarian cancer, women's health, it's a very real thing. So breast cancer, estrogen-driven cancers, hormone-driven cancers, really look into this. Get a all-natural progesterone cream. I don't believe it's healthy to take any sort of synthetic HRT hormone therapy prescribed by a doctor and taken orally. It has proven to wreak havoc within the system. Again, this is based on Dr. Lee's research. He was one of the giants in women's health researching. I'm going to post the information on YouTube, but if you take nothing else from this, women, if you are older than the age of 35, get on an all-natural progesterone cream, a balancing cream. Take it twice a day. Put it on your neck twice a day, once in the morning, once before bed. It's about a 1/4 teaspoon, and you'll see yourself feel better. A lot of women notice that they have depression signs go away. Their libido comes back because progesterone supports libido. Progesterone and testosterone supports libido. All of these wonderful things start happening within their system. They're not gaining as much weight. They're less tired. They're less lethargic. Get on an all-natural progesterone cream. You will be so glad that you did. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment, reach out. I will post Dr. Lee's information on the comments and everything if you are interested. He has the case studies. He's also written an excellent book for women that are going through menopause. My own cancer journey put me into menopause very, very young, and so I've been dealing with the effects of this for a long time, and there is nothing that helps me more than an all-natural progesterone cream to help balance me out and helps me feel my best. So look into it. Really important to take care of your health, and have a look at that all-natural progesterone cream. Please let me know and follow for more health tips. Wellness is a big part of all of our lives, and if we can all dial in together and research together and find together, we can live longer, healthier, happy lives. Thanks so much. Have a great day. And baby, are you out for the count? Okay, see you guys.